Nigeria superstar actress who has been in the news since she got married to a man many said was old enough to be her grandfather, Regina Daniels on Sunday early morning night revealed that she was married to the Nigeria senator representing Delta North, Prince Chinedu Nwoko a.k.a. Ned Nwoko as a minor at the age of 17, a statement that allegedly accused the serving senator, Ned Nwoko, of apparent serious crime of child abuse, raping of minor, child molestation and forced child marriage because Nigeria constitution stipulates 18 years of age for someone to be considered old enough to be able to consent to marriage or sexual activities, and any sexual activity with a minor. The older person is presumed according to the Nigeria constitution as a criminal suspect who took advantage of the minor and liable for child abuse and other related crimes. Although Senator Ned Nwoko is a Muslim by religion, a careful study of the Nigeria laws indicated that Islamic law is only binding on Muslim and not Muslim and Christian or people from other religions. We are also aware that both of them are from Delta State in the south-south geopolitical zone of Nigeria that is predominantly Christians that practices 18 years as a statutory and customary age requirement for someone to be considered old enough to give his or her voluntary consent for marriage and other forms of sexual activities. Last month October, there was a heated debate at the Nigeria Red Chamber of the National Assembly where the senators bemoaned the high rates of child abuse and defilement of minors in Nigeria and recommended a stiffer punishment of life imprisonment for offenders. Specifically, according to the DailyPost newspaper publication on October 21, 2025, the senator representing Edo North Senatorial District, Oshomhole, said defilement of a minor should be different from that of rape. For a minor, this is a kid that is not capable of consenting or otherwise and whose life can be destroyed almost permanently. Those involved in defilement should suffer great punishment. I propose 20 years imprisonment for whoever is found culpable for this crime without any option of fine, because I have seen cases of boys and girls under 5 and 10 years old being defiled by adults, he said. The proposal was, however, defeated by the majority in the Red Chamber of the National Assembly. Following the defeat of the bill, Senator Muhammad Adamu Aliero, Kebbi Central, proposed stiffer punishment of life imprisonment for any man or woman found wanting in the act. I want to propose that the punishment for defilement for minors be life imprisonment, whether it's a man or woman found culpable. According to Regina Daniels, before she became the wife of Senator Ned Nwoko, she was not into drugs or a drug addict. She alleged that it was Senator Ned Nwoko who influenced and forced her into the habits of taking drugs in order for she to be able to satisfy the senator's sexual desire or meet up with his sexual pleasure. Verbatim, Regina Daniels said, "Dearest ex-husband, thanks for breaking the crown you put on my head. No one knew us like we did, and I trusted you with all of me, even with my sex tape, which I pray never sees the light of day. Foolish me. When I married serving Nigeria Senator, Prince Chinedu Nwoko, well known as Nedo Nwoko, has listed and narrated some of the things he has done for the family of his absconded fourth wife, Regina Daniels, particularly stating that his mother-in-law, Regina Daniels' mother, Rita, received 125 million nairas from him in the past 2 years alone, apparently challenging the mother-in-law earlier media statement that none of the senator's children looked like a child of a billionaire, and that she on her own spent her hard-earned money to support the senator's election, in addition to the $50,000 Regina Daniels gave to the 65-year-old Muslim husband from the southern part of Nigeria. Outside that, Senator Ned Nwoko apparently tried to explain why his brother-in-law, Sammy, was arrested and detained after his wife, Regina Daniels, ran away from her matrimonial home and decided to end the marriage with the serving Nigeria senator on the ground of domestic violence, intimidation and oppression that made her look like nothing in the house of the senator, who she swiftly replied yesterday that Ned Nwoko never married her legally, and she was apparently still a minor at age 17 when the Nigeria serving senator allegedly forced her into early marriage. Details of Regina Daniels' statements and the legal implications will be reported and published in our next news report for proper clarification and understanding, so that appropriate government bodies like the Nigeria Police Force will be held accountable to take decisive action for the protection of girl-child against sexual abuse, molestation, raping of minor and child marriage. According to the serving senator, Ned Nwoko, who attached 2 videos to his statements of Sammy, Regina Daniels' brother having misunderstanding with some of his domestic staff and the policeman at his house, these videos show Sammy, Regina's brother, repeatedly coming to my home and harassing my children and domestic staff, especially whenever I was not around. His visits were often aggressive and disruptive. This is someone I sponsored through his last 2 years at the University of Ikpoma. I bought his musical instruments, rented and furnished a flat for him in Abuja, in addition to the house I bought for Regina in Asaba before our marriage for the use of all of them. I also routinely provided allowances to all members of the family, including her mother, Rita Daniel. Indeed, in the last 2 years, I have a record of transferring 125 million nairas to her alone. When Regina started her rehabilitation, there was a clear instruction by the doctors to strictly restrict people, especially her enablers, from having access to her. The therapy was arranged after I noticed troubling changes in her behavior linked to her dependence on certain illegal substances, including going for 48 hours without sleeping and eating every 2 hours. Unfortunately, Sammy, Destiny, some of their siblings, together with a few of their friends, notably Sonia Uche Montana among others, constantly defied those instructions. They would come into the house uninvited, sometimes forcing their way in, and would bring her the same drugs she was being treated for. Instead of helping her recover, they encouraged her addiction and completely frustrated the efforts of the doctors. Indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, has said that the detained Biafra Republic agitation leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, has not forfeited his rights to defend himself before the Federal High Court sitting in Abuja, after the judge, Justice James Omotosho, ruled on Friday and stated that Nnamdi Kanu's rights to enter defense has been forfeited and thereafter fixed November 20, 2025 for judgment, as Nnamdi Kanu was seen to have staged a defensive confrontation with aggressive loud voice, challenging the court that the federal government allegations against him has no legal basis or any aspect of the Nigeria law that backs such allegations. This, Barrister Oloyejimako, the organizing lawyer for the detained Biafra Republic agitation leader, had on Wednesday said in a written and video statement posted on his X social media account that Nnamdi Kanu is competent enough to defend himself, especially given the political elements in the case which he understands better than any lawyer. In a press release issued and made available on Friday, IPOB, in the statement signed by Emma Powerful, said it strongly condemns the new round of fake news being pushed by certain Nigerian media outlets. The false claim that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has forfeited his right to defense in the ongoing trial before Justice James Kolawole Omotosho of the Federal High Court, Abuja, is a desperate lie meant to mislead the public and cover up an illegal process. Let the truth be clear, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has not forfeited anything. What is happening in court is not a fair trial but a political show. Up till today, neither Justice Omotosho nor Chief Adigboyegba Awomolo, SAN, the government's lead prosecutor, has been able to point to any valid, existing law that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu supposedly broke. Their silence speaks volumes. It is a quiet confession that this entire case has no legal foundation. The core question remains simple. Can anyone be prosecuted or convicted without a living law that clearly defines the offense and prescribes a punishment? The answer is written in Section 36(12) of Nigeria's 1999 Constitution. A person shall not be convicted of a criminal offense unless that offense is defined and the penalty therefore is prescribed in a written law. This means you cannot charge or convict anyone unless the law exists in black and white. No judge or lawyer can twist that. The Supreme Court has said the same thing many times. In Nwoko vs. Fagbemi, 1961, AG Federation vs. Abubakar, 2007, and NNPC vs. Fawahinmi, 1998. Where there is no law, there can be no trial, no conviction, and no justice. But instead of obeying this clear rule, Justice Omotosho keeps trying to force Mazi Nnamdi Kanu to open his defense, as if pretending there's a valid case will make it real. This is wrong. It's a misuse of power and a clear violation of fair hearing. You cannot force a man to defend himself against a ghost charge. So we ask again, under which law is Mazi Nnamdi Kanu being tried? What act of the National Assembly defines his supposed offense? And
Osazuwa Nedo, bringing you the news in a more digital way.